love mythological creatures and magical beings? Well, I'm going to share a spiritual gift that I just found in my clients' Akashic records in case it unlocks and activates something within your templates as well. I went to her energy field. We were sitting together eating watermelon, and I said, "Oh, I love watermelon, thank you." And I told her why I was there to help her with her spiritual gift and understanding it. And she said, "Okay, come with me." She grabbed my hand and we started running really fast through the forest. And she was running so fast when I was behind her. You know how a flag blows in the wind? Well, my feet had come off the ground and I was flying in the air like that, and she started laughing. I was laughing as well. And then we ended up at a cliff and I looked over and she said, "What do you see?" I said, "A lot of fog." And she said, "Well, what do you see past that?" And so when I scanned beneath the fog, I saw a chimera. Chimeras are dependent on what type of magical creatures you're blending together. It's not just one type. What I saw for her was a lion that had big giant wings, and I asked if I could go talk to him, and she said yes. So I went down there and told him why I was there, and he said, "Follow me." And so we went to a portal door, and when we came out on the other side, there was this huge city, so incredibly beautiful. And there were so many different creatures that were walking around that were blended like this. I didn't see any people or humanoid beings there except for one. A different incarnation of hers came forward. I explained to her what I was doing, and she said that she is a quantum architect for magical creatures, and this was a specific dimensional place where they are birthed into creation. When my son was younger, he had these things called mashers, and you could buy different sets of DC and Marvel superheroes. You would get Batman's arm and Iron Man's head and Doctor Strange's leg, and you would put them together to create a new superhero. So I equated it much like that. And I asked her different incarnation how she had gotten into this dimension because there weren't other people or humanoid beings. And she said, "Oh, one of my spirit guides brought me here because they saw that I have this archetype of quantum architecture with creatures." And then I told my client that she also has a similar template, and that's why she's here. And she can actually learn from her different incarnation how to bring it into this one. She said what my client needs to do is read the essence of the person that she is speaking to, whether that's a client, a family member, or a friend, and figure out what type of attributes or characteristics that they hold and what ones that they need to bring into their life or strengthen. A way that you can do this is going on to Google or Chat GPT and typing attributes that a person has, personality traits, and find 100 of them and read through. Do you have to memorize all of them? No, because if you have this archetype, it will log back in your subconscious, and then you'll be able to pull it forward when we're going to do what we're about to talk about. And it's also good for your own personal journey, because then you can see where you're at in life and if there are any characteristics that you want to work on, amplify, or bring in. Examples of this would be compassionate, determined, intelligent, kind, witty, courageous, assertive, empathetic, imaginative. Then what she needs to do is figure out what type of mythological creatures, magical beings call to her, and then assign them attributes. For example, we could have mermaids, centaurs, fairies, goblins, Pegasus, Yeti. What do those mean to her? A dragon might mean strength, or we could have a fairy that's childlike wonderment. Then what she's going to be able to do is energetically read the person, see what they need, build a spirit guide for them out of all of these different types of creatures and beings into one, give it birth and give it consciousness. That is going to be the person's new spirit guide. And I was telling her that these are reflections of somebody's higher self, because we're utilizing those characteristics and personality traits to step up into the next level identity of ourselves. Yes, these beings do have their own consciousness. They have their own soul, but you were able to conglomerate all of their essences into one being to help them during this incarnation. And she said that she can ask that being what their name is, or her client, family member, or friend can go into meditation and ask them themselves. Her different incarnation said that when she travels to this dimension, that she's going to meet a lot of creatures and beings that nobody's ever seen before. That's not popular in the collective consciousness yet. And so she's going to be downloading a lot of that for us. Obviously, we have our most popular ones, goblins, gnomes, fairies, elves. But there's so many more out there in the cosmos. He said something that would be beneficial is looking at pictures on Pinterest, because oftentimes you'll have mashups like this. You can just go in and type in magical creatures, mystical beings, and find a lot of them there. A couple different ways that you could apply this with other people is when I'm doing spiritual gift activations, I'm not actually meeting with the person face to face on Zoom. I'm doing it in my own time, and then I send them a voice note summary, because I can get a lot deeper into their Akashic records without having to work through the layers of their human psyche. So I said you could astral project yourself, an internal experience, into that dimension with the other person's higher self or their energy body, and then y'all create the being together, and then you let them know through the voice note summary what you discovered. Or you can meet on Zoom and you will talk about the challenges that they're facing in life, or what they want to bring in, or their goals, manifestations, desires. Determine what characteristics match up with being that person that has all of those things, and then lead them through a meditation where you both go into that dimension and create the being together. I told her if she's an artist, she could also draw what this being or creature looks like, and so it makes it a little bit more tangible for people, especially once you start seeing creatures and beings that are not popularized in the collective consciousness yet. Or you can utilize an AI generator. For example, you could put in, I would like for you to blend a dragon and an elf and a hydra, and it will create that picture for you, so it's easier for people to imagine what that guide looks like. Different Incarnation also wanted to note that there are subsets of a lot of these creatures. Let's take dragons, for example. There's fire, water, celestial, earth. And so that's for everything. Fairies, elves, all different types of creatures. However, when you first start doing this, it's okay to start with the main one. Just dragons, elves, gnomes, goblins, yetis, phoenixes, and then get into that later. You might have heard my dog backward sneezing over here. So, other things that you can do is watch TV shows and movies that have a lot of mythos beings in them. So a couple of examples that her higher self gave was Fantastic Beasts, that's the Harry Potter movie. Onward, I think that's a Disney movie or Pixar movie, I'm not sure. Star versus the Forces of Evil, that is a children's cartoon, super fun and whimsical. And then there's Owl House. That is a little bit more macabre and leans towards Halloween-esque type of content, but it's really funny. I highly recommend. And I also saw this big giant snake in her field. I didn't get a whole lot of information about that. It was more to relay that with this type of gift, if you have spirit animals as your guide, or you have been them, or you have worked in different dimensional places, you can apply this gift to animals as well and be able to contact them, open up those lines of communication. I would love to hear in the comments if this unlocked and activated something for you as well, or if you have any questions, and I hope you have a super magical day.